the ideas that we've gathered by chatting to people informally, by running little pilot studies, by meeting more formally with businesses and organisations based in the Wrekin Forest. It's our first attempt. Now, as Steve over there on the Friends website has put it on the website, it's downloadable. So if you can get access to the internet, you can get your own copy. I will also be sending out a hard copy, that's paper, to anybody that's on my database, anybody who's given me their address. If you don't think I've got your address or email and would like a copy, then please put it on this clipboard as it goes round. So we'll send that round first. The simple request from me to yourselves and to others is to read it, think about it, scribble on it, write on it, disagree with it, fundamentally or otherwise, profoundly, or agree with it, support it, or add to it. It isn't finished. It's still got a long way to go. Okay? So as you go through, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just run through the structure of it, some of the ideas, and how we think we can move forward from this point. So we've done a lot of work, but a lot of these things are just ideas. They've still got a lot of work to do. So we've got this draft plan, this is a consultation, so this is me sending out ideas and asking for comments to come back. Let's have a look.
Do you want me to turn some of the lights off?
Yeah, it might do, it's a bit calm. Do we need to... 2004, part of the Wrekin Hill came up for sale. The Shropshire Wildlife Trust attempted, with public support, to purchase that. It failed. But what it did at the time, it raised a lot of issues and concerns and questions. i.e., who owns the hill? What's the plans for the hill? Who looks after it? Can we keep it the way we've loved it for all these years? There was a Heritage Lottery Fund grant made to support the purchase of it. As the sale collapsed, a lot of that money was held onto, the public money was held onto, and a new bid was put to the lottery, which they supported, and the project officer, myself, was recruited to work for 2 years. I'm employed by the Shropshire Wildlife Trust, and I had two things to do. Coordinate the writing of a landscape conservation management plan. Coordinate, i.e. go out into the local community, meet organisations or individuals or groups, whether they're social groups, sports clubs, or more formal groups like the Civic Society and members, and pull together a conservation plan. Now that involves the geology, the soils, the biodiversity, the living things that are in it. It also involves the culture, the art, the literature, the history, the past and the present. Second part of the job was to work to promote public understanding and enjoyment of the Wrekin Forest landscape area. I couldn't do a lot about the enjoyment because people enjoy it already. But I think there's quite a lot of work to do in terms of public understanding. And there still is. This plan is 37 pages. It's because there's a lot to find out about it. The work of people like Alan Peer, in terms of the local history, just reflects, it's just a rich vein. Once you start tapping it, just keeps on coming. On the guided walks, we've only run a few, a handful so far. We're finding people that have come along to the walks that have lived in this area for a very long time. And for me, I've only been working in this area for 12 months, can share that with them. They're discovering things they haven't realised about their favourite walk. Their favourite walk that happens to be a tramway that had 200 years of quarrying history behind it. It's just where they take their job. So there's lots of ways of peeling back the layers. In terms of public access, is how the activities of one person may conflict with the activities of somebody else. And there's a sort of awareness raising of actually talking to different groups, and slowly over the 12 months make contact with people like the International Mountain Bike Association. By talking to their local officer, starting to understand how they're trying to promote responsible mountain biking. But clearly that's quite a misunderstood group, because when I started 12 months ago, mountain bikers were very clear just a problem. They're a blobby problem. So in time you can gain insight into what that group actually requires. Can it be accommodated within the Wrekin Forest without continuous conflict? Anyway. So those are two tasks. We started the consultation process run from July last year all the way through to April. It's very informal, looking for opportunities. We set up a volunteer programme on a Friday, and through the group of volunteers we worked in different parts of the Wrekin forest. I will show you what I mean by that in a moment. By May we realised we were starting to gather enough material to start hardening that into a more formal process, and in May we met with the landowners. There's a relatively small group of people who actually own most of the land in that area. There's a greater number of smaller like residents who actually own their own house and garden. There's a much smaller group of big landowners. So it's the farmers, 3 estates that are operating there. There's a couple of companies like Veolia Environment own large areas of land. We invited them to a meeting. What we did, I took the stuff that you're going to see and I just showed them it and described in very general terms. And we're searching for responses, kind of testing the water. Because I'm a keen walker, I'm also a keen mountain biker, so I wanted to test their response. Are you prepared to talk with a representative group from mountain bikers? Are you prepared to look at concessions in terms of allowing horses greater freedom on the right-of-way network that crosses your land? Are you prepared, all the woodland owners, about 6 main ones, are you as woodland owners prepared to actually meet together as a group? What do you think to that idea? Relatively successful meeting. I didn't get booed or stoned, which was great, but it was paving the way for this next stage, that we actually take those things and broaden out the consultation again. Mail shop. So I was saying, with Steve's help, we've got it on the internet now, so you can download a copy, and also I'll be sending out copies, and through the help of the Shropshire Star, send out the message. If you want a copy of the report, just get in touch with us and we'll send you one, whichever way you wish. Public presentation today. Formal consultations to decision makers. A lot of what we've outlined within the plan, certainly I'm not able to, I've got no authority in terms of forcing it, making it happen. What we have to do is move up the layers, so Wellington Town Council, so we talk to the councillors, Telford and Wrekin Council, Shrewsbury and Ashton Borough Council, all the parish councils which represent the local people, and Shropshire County Council. So at a later stage in the end of the summer, once we complete this process, and already I'm getting people sending me comments and written material, is that we actually go to that level. This works from the bottom up rather than from the top down. I prefer that. Final draft and funding bits. Eventually, this raw draft has to become a final plan. It has to become an action plan, not just a consultation or discussion document. It has to become something about action. Each of the measures or initiatives that we think will help conservation and landscape need to be costed. People need to formally sign up and agree that they're going to support them and see them through. And you'll see why, as we run through those initiatives, why we need people to sign up. Otherwise, some of them will just collapse and will not be sustainable if people don't sign up. There is public money, i.e. lottery funds and other funds, available to help some of these plans come good. If there's a plan that comes out and you think, actually, it actually all sticks together in one, then we actually need to do that all in one. It is a whole landscape. It needs to be tackled as a whole landscape. In other parts, we may think there's a smaller project and we can just get enough money as a, what's it called, aggregates levy sustainability fund, about £3 grand per application. And there's a number of small projects we've found that we can make individual applications for. Again, if they're in the context of a plan, it's not something odd, wacky, out of the blue. People will know it's coming. They know there'll be an application in, they know that they've got to support it or object or comment on it. So that's the process we're involved in.